Hello everyone, or should I rather say, howdy y'all. I just got home from Texas, literally 2 hours ago, just in time for a Wednesday video. And I just wanted to talk about my experiences in America since I played Calling Minneapolis, and also do a tier list afterwards. So kind of a story time, but also CC meta video. If you're not interested in a story time, makes total sense. Just skip towards the tier list. I'll put a benchmark in the video. Alright, so I went to Calling Minneapolis because I felt confident in Limited. After getting second in Prague, I was like, I was kind of on the fence anyway, because usually tournaments next to US Nets are a little bit easier. I did miss day 2, so I kind of have to eat my words on that. But that already was very likely, and then after Brody and I did the video of the supercomputer, he invited me to a draft camp as well, and it was like, okay, that's the Limited dream, go to the Calling Minneapolis and do a draft camp at his house after. The trip was extremely fun. I learned a lot in Limited. I arrived in Minneapolis, of course. We stayed at Wolfpack and Friend's house from John Magnuson, who funnily enough also made top 8 with Ziggy. We saw him practicing the deck and we were like, interesting Ziggy, and he actually managed to top 8 with it, which was a great result. So I arrived there and immediately was like, I've been to USA sometimes before, and normally I get very nervous because of the border patrol security. Definitely now some guy makes it a lot harder in the USA. It is more nerve-wracking than normal. Normally I'm like very prepared for the border security. Like I just know where I'm going, know where I'm staying, like I can answer their questions. But this time, I don't know, I just kind of didn't really prepare for it. So at border security, the person, the border patrol agent, asked me like, "Hey, where are you staying?" And at the time, I mean, I knew John, but I knew John's name, but I didn't know him in person. So they said like, "Do you know the person you're staying with?" And I said no, because I was like 50-50 on getting his name correct, and I was like, if I don't get his name correct and they find out, I'm like completely cooked. So I just said the honest truth. I said no, which now in retrospect was like super shady, of course. And I said like, "Oh, what are you here for?" It's like, "I'm for a card game tournament." And they immediately latched onto that, like, "Oh, card game tournament? Are there prizes? Is there money to be won, etc., etc.?" I was like, yeah. I tried explaining them, yeah, like these are like tournaments, etc., etc. And I just noticed myself getting even more nervous as I was explaining it, because it was like, oh, I messed this up so badly. I should have just been given concise answers, but I just didn't. So the border patrol agent put a stamp on my passport. I was like, okay, nice. But then he said like, "Wait here for a second," and then I was like, oh no. Because I know about secondary questioning. It's like when they check you upon arriving at the country, and they find you a little bit suspicious, they pull you into a back room and they start asking more questions. And usually that's not a good sign, because if you don't get through that, they'll never let you in the country anymore. I mean, they can, but it gets very hard because you cannot get an ESTA anymore. So you have to go through the embassy every time you want to go to the USA. At the moment, I luckily didn't realize this, because I would have gotten even more nervous. But yeah, in the back room, the agent started questioning me even more. I was like, "Oh, you don't know the person you're staying at. How weird, how weird." And also, I'm going to Minneapolis, and then I'm going to Texas. I just tried to answer as honestly as possible, and I also said like, "Yeah, sorry, I know this can come across as shady, but like I have no ill intent, and I'm like really solidly in the Netherlands. I don't want to live here by any means." And in the end, luckily, the border patrol agent was chill and let me in. But yeah, that was kind of a scare to the whole trip. I literally have never been so scared in my entire life. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I came into that back room and like the security guard asking me questions, it just arrived there from like a 10-hour flight. I was like, oh, I don't want to fly all the way back and deal with this and have this trip be cancelled, because I was looking so much forward to it. Anyway, it ended up being okay. We got to John's house, and there started talking with his wife, and just about America in general, about like, funnily enough, how the cheese in Netherlands is maybe better or worse than in the USA. And one thing came to another, and she said, hey, why don't you want to go to Costco to see how the American supermarkets are like? And I was like, I've been to America a few times, but never been to Costco. Sure, that's gonna be fun. So we drove to Costco, and I saw some crazy American stuff there. Like, as a European, my mind actually cannot comprehend this. Look at this Costco. They have these huge cakes you can buy. Like, just these cakes were massive, by the way, for $18. That's not the only thing. Like, how much meat is this? Like, in Europe, this is so crazy to see. That was one thing. Eggs. They had like a whole cool room with like so many eggs. Like, in Europe, I think one of these is like our whole egg shelf. But yeah. What else? Of course, the Cola Zero. 35 can pack. I had to buy it, of course. And a Doritos bag, like twice the size of my head, and my head is not small, guys. So that was quite big. Anyway, after that, I also want to thank everyone and celebrate a bit that the channel finally has gotten 1,000 subscribers. This was my goal when I started this channel. Of course, 1,000 subscribers is the first benchmark for a channel. And this year, when I started making weekly content and really tried to be dedicated with it more, this was my goal for the end of the year, and we reached it in close to half a year. So I'm wondering how far the growth is going, and if we're gonna grow even further than this. But yeah, huge thanks for everyone that subscribed, because like, I literally couldn't have done it without you, for obvious reasons. And yeah, I'm very thankful for this, and this motivates me a lot to keep making videos, and also why I started making this video, I don't think even 2 hours after I landed back home. So yeah, I'm really thankful for that, and we reached it in America as well. So yeah, then Usenet started. I just did some side events, some sealed side events, just to get some prep for the calling. I played a lot of draft, of course, as you could have also seen on my streams. But sealed is a different beast, and I didn't do a lot of it. So I opened some sealed pools. It went okay. I went 3-1 and 3-1, which is a decent score, but I kind of was hoping for a little bit of a more perfect score, since I put so much time and effort into the guide. About that, thanks to a lot of people who came up to me and said hi. I don't think I've ever had this many people come up to me and thank me for the guide and the streams, etc. Like, it really meant a lot to me, and it like I said, motivates me to keep making content and seeing it as real impact for people, and that they really feel helped by it, which is amazing. And also the support on the guide, of course, is like great, and I thank you all a lot for that as well. So yeah, after the sealed events, it finally was the day of the calling, and I opened the Tempestuous Kiss in my pool, and I was like, oof, this is gonna be hard. Yeah, I don't have a picture of my pool anymore, but I also had a very good Ziggy pool, and I also had a very good Acidio pool with like a lot of instants, a lot of attacks with go again, and arcane damage. Like, my Acidio deck was very aggressive, and that's how I usually like to build the Acidio decks. Like, have some embodiments to lead your attacks with go again into an arcane spell to really go over the top and counter the opponent's prevention in a way, because they have a bunch of non-blocks. So I laid out my Aurora deck with Tempestuous Kiss. I even had the Leech Aura that shuffles back, or that bottoms back an attack after it deals damage, so I could cycle my Tempestuous Kiss. I had Snap Fingers as well for the Tempestuous Kiss, but somehow I just felt really I don't know, maybe this is a nice topic for another video sometimes, but it was like, I think I'm at the level now of Omens that I can decide for myself what I deem to be good and bad. And I had a bit of a bias. I mean, if you guys watch the streams, you know I have a bit of a bias for Acilio. I think Acilio is the strongest hero. I've gone down on it a little bit after the draft camp. I can talk maybe a little bit more about that in a few minutes, but I still think he's the strongest hero. In Sealed, he has the highest win rate, so I ended up going with Acilio. The tournament started extremely well for me. Round 1, I paired into a Ziggy, and on his turn, he attacked me. I used my Lace Lightning, I put down a core reaction, and my first real turn of the tournament was like core reaction, 3 Arcane, Flittering Spike, play Constella Uplift, Flittering Spike becomes 6, Constella Uplift is 2 damage or even 3 because I had my arms or something, so it was already like 12 damage, and then I finished with a Rift Breaker to make it like 18-19 value or something, like absolutely egregious. So after that round 1 I was like, yes, I'm in the right hero. I got tempted by the kiss, but I didn't take it, and I think I got rewarded. So I started after that 2-0. Then I lost the game. I think I made a big mistake. I used my equipment instead of playing my spell for 2 value. And I thought my equipment is 2 value too, so I'd rather stay a little bit higher and pitch to the equipment because it's like 2 value anyway. But that was wrong because you want to save your equipment for when you really need it. And if a spell is 2 value anyway, why would you be using your equipment? So yeah, I kind of made a slight error, ended up 2-1. And I was kind of sad by it. It was like, it's kind of stupid. I traveled all the way here to make such a basic mistake and lose a game because of it. But yeah, I kind of looked back in, and then 2-1 I played against Aurora. I felt like I was totally winning the game until this happened. As you can see, I'm at 2, my opponent is at 3. I draw up my hand, opponent has 2 card hands, he sends Sinjin Flow Stride without go again, so 4. I just see my hand, I have no blocks. I look at my opponent's life total, I see the Constella Flow Slide. I have a flow as well here, but I can only deal 2, and I just die with all my cards in hand, and I was just, oh, I'm 2-2. I have to win out everything now to go to day 2 and even top 8. This just kind of was demoralizing at the moment. I was like, come on. I think I had like 12 non-blocks, which is on the higher side normally. But I felt like because I had cards like Electrolyze, I could get away with it. With blocking a little bit less. But yeah, this was kind of a demoralizing loss. But after this, I fought back until like 4-2, and then I lost against Aurora again because of the no blocks to get kicked out of day 1 at 4-3. Of course, I was very disappointed. I flew all the way here for the calling, but after reflecting a bit, I was not at the level I wanted to be, where I could like pioneer my opinions on the format to such extent that I can just ignore Tempestuous Kiss, etc. because I think Acilio is better. Like, I was totally wrong in that. I should have been a bit more humble in the end and accept that Aurora also is a very playable hero. And then, yeah, it's kind of sour wasting the opportunity because my Tempestuous Kiss deck was very good. I had also the Prophetic Quickstep rare. I had like a bunch of quick successions. Like, I had a good blue base. I think I even had a Storm Shard, like good equipment. It's just a bit stupid that I kind of let my ego take over and thinking like, oh, I know better, that Acilio is the best hero, etc., etc. So I'm gonna believe in myself, which I think at some level in the game you should just believe yourself, but I'm not there yet, and it's an extremely high level you need to be at to really not listen to other people's opinions. Like, I don't think a lot of people in the world can do it. So yeah, stupid mistake, but I bounced back from it, went back to the city the next day to play the Sage, what is called Showdown with Briar. Nice view of Minneapolis on the way there. Didn't go particularly well. I went 6-3, losing to 2 Oldhams and 1 Reinar, who quadruple intimidated me on turn 0 and leaked 12 damage, so I started the game at 8. And I was a little bit flustered by it, and so much that I forgot to make my embodiment of Earth and just had to block with my Snatch while I had a Lightning Press in hand as well. So just a little bit of amateuristic run from me. Like, these things are all things I should have been able to control, but for some reason just didn't do. It's okay though. I mostly went there for fun in the end. The results are always nice to get, but yeah, I think I can look back fondly of this memory in Minneapolis. I went to the Mall of America as well. I always try to add a little bit of sightseeing into every trip, because I heard someone say, like, not play the game, see the world, but play the game, see the convention center. I really try to not do that. I've done that one time before at Pro Tour Baltimore, where I chose to play the Battle Hardened Blitz, where I didn't even really like Blitz at the time, over going to see the White House, which is like once in a lifetime opportunity, I think. And I deeply regretted that after I bombed the Battle Hardened there a few years ago. So since then I made a pact with myself: if I go to a special place, I'm gonna do some sightseeing. Doesn't matter how little. I'm gonna just make a moment for myself to be like, oh cool, I'm somewhere cool. And the Mall of America was indeed a very cool thing to be at. Like, it's very American. Like, look at this. There's a attraction park inside of a mall, like a Lego store with a huge Lego statue, like a huge food court surrounding it. I've been onto one of the roller coasters, was extremely fun, and this was only a small part of the mall. Like, it would go all the way around the attraction park as well. So with our group, we went to go to laser tag inside the mall, which was extremely fun. This was like a different kind of laser tag where you also had like melee weapons and stun guns. The melee weapon was a little bit too overpowered since you could just spam it, and then if you were just close to someone, they would just die on the spot. So of course, the card gamers that we are, someone came up with it. I think it was Logan, and he just pressed melee every time and would just have a 40 kill streak. Yeah, that was kind of funny that the laser tag game was being broken as well. Yeah, so it was amazing experience. Again, I don't regret. I mean, I do regret my misplays, of course, but yeah, what can I say? It still was a good trip. So after that, the Vegas trip started. We went to Brody's house in Dallas. We started with an open draft where we just opened all the packs and discussed the picks, like if we were in that seat, which was kind of fun. Never did that before, and you really found out everyone's biases and like preferences for each hero and cards. And I thought I had a pretty good grasp of the format, since I've done like I think now I've done like 50 drafts, which isn't like an egregious number, but I think it's like a decent amount number where you can be like confident in what you think the format is like. But yeah, I still learned a lot. I won't go over a lot of the learnings here, because Limit is also kind of now, like, US Nets is over, some other nets are over. Like, if people really want more limited content, please put it in the comments below, and I can try to go over all the learnings. But yeah, it was really interesting. And I think my main conclusion after the weekend is that the heroes are just at a very similar power level. I think Osidio is still a slight bit stronger. We did 12 drafts, I believe. I went 3-0 one time with Osidio, like 2-1 a bunch of times with Osidio. But also went 0-3 a bunch, and went 1-2 a bunch. Like, it was just a really strong pot. Like, the to kind of describe the strength of the pot, it was like I was 1-2 at some point, and my only win was against Michael Hamilton. So it's like, that's kind of a funny funny indication of the level of the pot. So yeah, well, I definitely learned a lot, and Brody and his mom were very hospitable, and was just extremely good experience. We also went to the Game Nerds Armory. They heard we were doing a draft camp, and they said like, oh, we're gonna make a cool armory where we give out promos and we get free pizza, which is like, I've never been to an armory and they give you free dinner. Like, that's just insane to me. So it's like, but I later found out this is like the Texas hospitality, where people are just very welcoming. I definitely felt that in Texas a lot. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff going on in America, but like the people who care there are still extremely great, and I would definitely not generalize America as a whole as a European anymore. World Cup also going on there. Funnily enough, in Dallas, my national team, the Dutch team, played the week before we came, so I just arrived a little bit too late, but I still saw a lot of like World Cup stuff, etc. So the Armory was a great experience. A lot of players. I didn't go too well. I also, my eyes are closed here, which is classic, of course. Now, I played Jarl. I went to I was just trying to test Jarl a bit, since I thought he could be a good meta pick. But yeah, it'd been a long time since I played Guardian, so yeah, didn't go all too well, but still was a very fun experience. So another weird thing that happened in Dallas, like I got this text message, and normally in the Netherlands we get these text messages like if there's a little bit of hail or if there's a little bit of snow, so it doesn't really mean anything. So at this point in time we were going to basketball, and I was like saying in a group chat like, hey, are we still going to basketball, or is this a little bit more serious? And like people like started spamming laughing emojis at me. I was like, what's going on? Like, is it a flash flood? Like, how bad can it be? So anyway, I woke up, I went outside, and apparently a flash flood in Dallas is kind of a big deal. And yeah, it was kind of, I mean, it wasn't really scary because like, of course, like it was still a little bit below where the house was, but yeah, that was an experience. Like, if you get an emergency text message in the USA, it's an actual emergency, while in Europe it's more like, yeah, watch out a little bit on the road. But yeah, that was kind of weird. We did end up to basketball in the end. It was fun to play with Flesh and Blood players. Some pick meetings as well. Like, was fun to do stuff other than Flesh and Blood as well with the guys. So yeah, I had a great time. I'm glad I'm back. Nationals coming up now. I have 2 more days for CC, because I only played draft in the last couple of weeks. Like, I didn't really focus on CC at all. I was just like, let me check what the meta is gonna be like. Let me get a feel for it more. My previous tier list got a lot of people saying like, hey, you were wrong, blah blah blah. I just want to say, while one tournament like USA Nance is kind of big and is kind of representative for the meta game overall, I would say it's not painting the full story, right? Like, it's only one tournament, it's only one country. Like, not all of the top players in the world are at US Nets. Like, a lot of them are, because a lot of them are in the USA as well. But yeah, I wouldn't draw too many conclusions from one tournament. So anyway, in this last segment of the storytime / CC meta analysis, I wanted to make kind of an updated tier list about my opinions of the metagame at the moment. It's gonna be a little bit shorter than the last one, but yeah, let's start off with what I think is the best deck. I would say right now, like, it's more closer than I thought. but I would say right now it's probably Gravy. Like if we have to pick out the best deck, I think it's probably Gravy. Because of his position in the meta game. Like Victor is good, Mario is good. He is a very good matchup into both. Vi is a little bit scary. Like you can just die if they do a few good turns. Gravy cannot block very well. Luckily, the US national champion Colin Erickson didn't really seem bothered by what Vi was doing, just because of his turns being so efficient. Like I watched that game back and I was like, Vi doesn't seem like an amazing matchup for Gravy, but yeah. Colin started with like Leyline into Blue Tipple, into Ally, into Conqueror. Like, of course, those games are definitely not to take anything away from Colin. Of course, like he played amazingly and the very deserving champion. Just saying, from a Gravy perspective, if you draw those hands, it's kind of hard to lose games against any matchup kind of. Yeah, like he drew well, but of course the deck can do that, and the fight kind of bricked more. Yeah, all in all, I think Gravy does the strongest stuff right now. Like Acidio did it before, but now I feel like we're kind of entering a more dirtily meta where Gravy is just the best hero, I would say, but it's more close than normal. Like because at second place I still want to place Victor, and like for me these two can be interchangeable. Victor has a similar spread, like keeps decks out of the meta. Like I saw a very cool theory on Twitter, which I kind of agree with, is that because of the decks being a lot more less consistent than usual, decks that get value out of blocking become better because blocking just is more consistent in general. And I kind of really agree with that statement. I found it pretty clever as well, because I feel like it's true. Like a lot of decks in Flesh and Blood right now are pretty inconsistent. Like for example, Syndra. Like Syndra, very strong hero, but she just lacks a lot of draconic starters. Like she had Brand with Cinderclaw before, but now that is gone. She just has that many more brick turns, or like good turns where she can really convert as well as before. Same with Mario. He's like lost the Chelisora makers in like blue and yellow Orb Weaver Spinneret, and now also the Boots of Omnis Ward came out, so it's a little bit less consistent in getting your Graphene like when you want it. So that makes decks that block a lot and get rewarded for blocking like Victor a lot better. And I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. I think that's a very clever analogy for why Victor is doing well. So Victor I would place second. Like, guys, I know people say he's overrated, Arachne Marionette, like, but let's be real. Like, this deck hasn't gotten any, like, the only thing that happened to this deck is the fact that Boots of Omnis Ward came out, which is the boots that is generic and lets someone prevent a dagger flick. Like, of course, this is annoying for Mario, since you cannot flick on turn 0 anymore for free and mark the opponent and then immediately transform into the Orb Weaver and get your Graphene that way. It is, of course, annoying, but I wouldn't say this is like my friend Kashi explained, it was like, it's a mosquito bite. It's annoying, but it's not in any way or shape or form makes the deck that much less consistent. Makes it a little bit less consistent, but you can build your deck. You can add like blue Widow from Bones. You can add like blue Reaper Skulls to mark them without them having a say in it. Like, you definitely have the tools to combat that hate strategy for sure. So yeah, speaking of Mario, I think he still has a very solid spread overall. He stomps all the random decks. Vi, a deck that's coming up, I think Mario has a very good, no, not very good, but like good matchup into. I think he can win against Victor. I think now he has the tech options against Gravy. Like, it's not a favorite matchup, of course, but like he has the tools to beat any Gravy. And Unmake the Underlings, I think, is better than I expected because of a funny interaction where if you have an Unmake in your graveyard and you play Codex, normally the opponent could activate Chum in response to eat the Leave No Witnesses and leave the Chum alive. But now, if they do that, you can pick Unmake the Underlings to still attack Chum. Like small things like that definitely do help, and just I feel like this is just a deck with a very flat matchup spread, which is usually in the hands of a good player very good pick. So yeah, for sure I would still regard Arachne Marionette as S tier, and I would place him third, even though he didn't have a lot of great results. Like I can be honest in that, looking back at the Nationals, I know he didn't have a lot of great results, but honestly I wouldn't read too much into it. I feel like it's also because it's a new meta game, people are trying out new stuff. Arachne is like the boring old pick that hasn't gotten many new toys. Like he has got Unmake the Underlings, which is like, yeah, cool for gravy, but people I think are more interested in playing Fi and the other deck, which I'm about to mention, and I was very wrong about, because I feel like last video I put it a bit of a lower tier than this, is Acilio. I think Acilio, like Majin Bay, proved it by top 8ing Nationals, Aaron Grace as well. There's two variants of Acilio right now that are very strong. There's the All Arcane version with Aether Flare combos, and there's the Majin Bay version with the 0 for 4s and a God in the Flash combo, and some instants like Echo Flash, etc. I think, first of all, the fact that both of these versions exist makes it kind of hard to sideboard against them. For example, if you're at round 1 of your Nationals and you're playing against an Acilio, what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be the spell version, or is it gonna be the attack version? Of course, you can scout during the tournament, so you should know after round 1 what you're versing against. But like, this is like a small edge that Acilio gains. And I think the most scary version of the two, I think, is the spell variant. Like the Aether Spindle combos can be so insane. Like they can literally kill the opponent at turn 0. And I mean, Aaron Grace piloted him to a top 8 finish just because a lot of people didn't expect it and didn't add any AB. Or like not a lot of AB, which is of course huge if you're doing a huge Aether Spindle turn. But yeah, I think that build is definitely the strongest if people are not aware of it. One very good tech card you can add for this though is Arcane Compliance, just stopping the buffs on the Aether Spindle altogether, and yeah, make it so their kill range gets a lot higher. Also, if this deck becomes more known, people will just bring more AB. Like AB3 is already a very big upgrade against him. And then the other version, the attack version, I also think it's very good. It's just not very special to me. I think Mario and Victor should have a good matchup against it. Like, it does some amount of split damage where they do like attacks into like a Comet Collision for a decent amount of Arcane, and then have a big Golden and Flash turn somewhere. I think that's mainly viable because not a lot of people are running Amulets. Like, if people start running Amulets again against Golden and Flash, it gets way better for them. But yeah, I still think that's very strong. Right, let's pick a few more heroes I deem to be as strong. I mean, I would honestly put Fi here. Like, Fi has shown that he can do like very big combo turns where the opponent doesn't have a lot of agency. Where they can do something. Like, I heard the Fis at US Nationals did like 50 damage combos multiple games. Mask of the Poundsinglings to me feels like the correct armor for Fi anyway. Back in the day at Worlds Barcelona, me and a friend used to play that same type of build. Of course, then it was with Art of War, now it's with Phoenix Art of War. But yeah, I think Fi, of course, very strong hero. But yeah, I think he struggles a little bit against Mario. The Arcane Acilio matchup is a bit of a race. Like, do they find their Aether Spindle combos before? I keep saying Aether Spindle, sorry guys. I mean Aether Flare. That's a miss. Aether Flare, the card that deals more if you've dealt damage, or the card that lets the next spell deal X more damage, where X is the damage dealt by Aether Flare. Apologies. So I think Fi is really strong as well. Is there any other hero who's worth talking about? I mean, Ziggy, of course, shown to be one of the the best deck from the new heroes. I think there's something interesting that Ziggy does, and John's build came closest to like figuring out the optimal way in which the hero functions. But yeah, I wouldn't rank him on this small tier list yet. I think a very good hero I will put as the last hero is Prism. I think Prism is extremely underrated at the moment. Has done very well at Nationals as well, like New Zealand Nationals, and gotten in the finals. The new card Ominous Excavation can shuffle back some key instants for Prism. And the matchup against Gravy is good, against Victor if they don't have the tech, which doesn't seem like they do, is also a very good matchup. Mario is a 50-50, and against Spell and Arcane Insidio it's also way better than before. So yes, her position is just very good in the meta. Only problem is not a lot of people know how to play her. And another problem is a lot of people are not going to play her because she's almost living legend. I think she's at like 950. Yeah. There's definitely a lot more heroes in A tier, and these are just 6 I wanted to highlight. I think before Vegas I can make a new tier list. Also, funnily enough, because I have left my team table 1, so I'm a free agent for Vegas. I can share everything I know with you guys, which should be interesting. I decided to focus a little bit more on content creation, and it felt a little bit weird to just stream drafts to the public while I could also be streaming in the Discord, like the testing Discord. I was like, yeah, if I'm gonna do that, I'm just not contributing as much, and I kinda wanted to focus on that. Of course, I had the great experience at Brody's house to have like the limited portion of Vegas I think already covered mostly. Of course, I will do some more drafts, but yeah, I'm currently teamless for Vegas, which is interesting, but I've done okay before testing alone. Yeah. I don't know what further to say on that. Alright, I think this was it. I'm trying to upload this still on Wednesday, so if you see this on Wednesday, it means I succeeded. Thanks everyone for watching, and see you guys next week. My Nationals is gonna be this weekend. The hero I'm gonna be playing is either Mario or Gravy, for sure. I just don't know yet. I have to test in the coming 2 days. I'm going to a friend and staying at his house. We're gonna jam a bunch of games, and then hopefully next week I will be a national champion. Who knows? That would be sick though, right? Alright, later guys.